let's have a conversation about boundaries and your pelvic floor issues. This is so important because I guarantee you that if you have issues in your pelvic area, meaning your uterus, your bladder, your ovaries, the tendons in the area, the muscles, the joints, the bones, if you have issues in this area, I guarantee you that if you look into it, there is a link and a connection with your boundaries. Hi, I'm Cynthia. This is Sabatry Healing, and I'm here to help you heal your pelvic spirit. The reason for this, the link between your pelvic floor and boundaries, is because your pelvis, your pelvic floor area, is such a spiritual, energetic area of the body. I know that for me, I realized in my healing journey when I was just at the beginning of it, healing was something that started to happen for a few hours. I would get less pain, and then it would come back, and then a few days, and then maybe it was gone for 6 months, then even a year, and then it would come back. And I realized, thinking about it, like when the pain would return, I would be like, why did this happen? What triggered it? Nothing triggered it. What could it be? But I learned that the trigger was many times that one of my boundaries had been crossed. And when I say boundaries, what I mean is boundaries of many different things, right? We have boundaries protecting us from abuse. We have boundaries protecting us from how we allow people to talk to us. We have boundaries on how much sleep we need, right? That's a boundary. If we know that we're used to 7 hours of sleep and somebody were to come in and say you can only sleep 4 hours, it would be a hard no, right? You know how much sleep you need to function, so you have a boundary there. Boundaries about work. So are you overworking yourself and you've not even created a boundary between work and relaxation time? Have you allowed your busyness with your family to make your self-care non-existent? So you have no boundary there, right? So all of these things are boundaries. And if we're not creating a proper boundary for different things for ourselves, what happens is that our pelvic floor starts to create the boundary for us. I know that it can sound a bit esoteric, what I'm saying, but it's not. The pelvic floor gets your stress from an improper boundary situation, and it starts to protect you. It starts to bind, it starts to create walls, which then affect muscles, joints, the whole shebang. If you start looking into which boundaries you need to fix in your life, about self-care time, about allowing others to abuse, reject you, or boundaries on stress, the amount of stress you allow into your life. If you start working on those boundaries and making them stronger, your pelvic floor can then relax on helping you with these. And when your pelvic floor starts to relax, your symptoms start to fade and you will feel a decrease in pain. So start thinking about boundaries and how they affect your pelvic floor. Start thinking about, once you see which boundaries are needing to be strengthened, or maybe you don't have boundaries in certain situations at all, and you start working on them, you're going to see a change in your pelvic floor symptoms. So how can you do this? How can you start working on boundaries? Well, the thing is that boundaries are actually a very good thing. They are a tool that we can use to speed us into our happiness. They're a tool that we can use to make us happier, to bring us to our joy, abundance, our health fast. And for us with pelvic floor issues, our goal is to be pain-free, and working on our boundaries can get us there quicker. The way that boundaries do this is that whenever you're going through your day and you're in joy and feeling happy, and something or someone crosses a boundary, sometimes even we cross our own boundaries, right? With overwork or allowing too much stress. When a boundary is crossed, we automatically, energetically feel that. We feel icky, gross, or we feel tired, or we feel that switch in our mood. So start becoming aware of that. Start becoming aware, like, oh, my mood changed. Oh, I feel gross around this person, whatever the situation is. And notice that, realize that it's a boundary issue, and start to change it. Start to work on creating a healthy boundary for you. And when you do this, you will have more space, more both energetic space and physical space and time for more joy, abundance, and health. So this is how you start working on boundaries, which will then allow your pelvic floor to relax and stop yelling out for attention. And remember, decide, commit, and take action towards your healing and transformation. Namaste.